morning, my name is Kirsty and I'm here to look at the energies for today's Monday's musings as we enter the month of July. Now, getting to record this video has taken a bit of a hullabaloo. I found myself deliberately distracting myself with making another cup of tea or answering another message or perhaps burning some more incense in the room or whatever it may be. I found myself not avoiding what I wanted to do, but playing with the energy. And that feels really important as we lead into the 7-7 portal. And that's only just come to me. So why is that important? As we go into the 7-7 portal, it is linked to Sirius. There may be a lot of you out there, myself included, are having some very freaky dreams about Egyptian times and different types of energy. But it is also linked to the number 7. And 7 is very much about endurance and moving through that by looking at how we see endurance. 7-7 adds to 14, which is the Tower card in the tarot, which is all about change, right? All about growth. But it is linked to the Cancerian archetype, the Cancerian zodiac. So it's change that may not feel as if it is change. Thank you. I see where they're going now. It was almost a little bit like pulling teeth. It's change that may not always feel as if it is change. It may feel not as if we're going backwards, but as if it's not completely linked or even related to whatever it is we're sharing or whatever it is we think we now want. And that's the key. What we think we want is changing as we go into this portal. It's not about the Lion's Gate yet, and you are going to get some energy that is suggesting that it is one step at a time. One step at a time. One of the big things when it comes to change is to deal with what's in front of us. Yeah, not to have the temptation of going backwards, not to try and rush ahead, but to deal with what is being opened up in front of us first. Yes, we can be aware of the bigger picture, but not without what is going on at this moment. So, avoiding the urgency to jump into that Leo archetype. Now, I'm a Leo, so why would I suggest avoiding the urgency? Because what people see and what people assume, ourselves included, our roles, our identity, is only one aspect of our existence. And if we allow that to lead the way, we are going to lose sight of some of the other things that are trying to come through. How we see resistance, resilience and strength is really going to be under the microscope this week and this month actually. As we start to head towards the latter part of this year, moving into that more hermit-like energy, there are things that are going to come to light for us, that decision whether or not we want to take them forward. Not only with relationships, not only with work, there's a lot going on with work in particular. An example, my husband and I are actually shutting the shop at the end of this month, and that's been nearly 7 years actually. And that is because the drive has changed. Things have changed. We can say it's because of this, this and this, but actually the axis, if you will, the movement is coming from the drive that is now in that, and the serenity and the peace and the view of endurance for gain, secondary gain here as well. And that's going to come to light this week as well. But it's not just about our relationships. It's not just about external circumstances. Internally as well, what are we choosing to take forward? What do we want to take forward? Do we have the courage, the strength, the patience to not avoid what is trying to get our attention now and start to really fill into that over the next 5 to 6 months? It isn't always about action. So again, another example, what I'm really feeling into is the avoidance I have to go within, the avoidance I have to step back, the avoidance I have to my emotional shadow, because my moon sign is actually Virgo. So on the one side, yes, the Leo, on the other side, the Virgo, and also a lot of my nodes are linked to Virgo. A lot of my direction is linked to Virgo. So that part that I'm avoiding is actually going to give me the chance to apply everything I've discovered upon my path. It's the same for us all. So whether there's an avoidance of going live with your program or getting out there and sharing your services or making that commitment in a relationship or stepping back and just having peace and observing what's going on. Whatever that avoidance is going to give us the greatest light forward for the next part of this year and into next year. Because what we're actually avoiding is a lot of our skills, a lot of our gold, if you will, a lot of our magic, a lot of our light to come back to the surface. And the next few weeks, months, we're going to be shown repetitive patterns of that. We're going to be shown where we're like, I've learnt this, I've discovered this about myself. And you know, everybody's different. You may feel like you need a bit more confidence and you want to learn and do it from a different perspective, or you may feel as if there's more to gain there, more to heal, or whatever the narrative is that you're carrying forward. Or you may feel like, actually, I'm not getting what I need now. And that's a really important decision to make, right? We talk about our physical needs. You know, we need to eat well, we need to exercise, we need to drink water, we need to get out in nature. What about our energetic needs? What about our soul needs? And are they any different really from our physical needs? I went to this workshop yesterday and had this real light bulb moment. It was probably one of the only things I actually took from the workshop, but this real light bulb moment of my soul needs being my physical needs also. Not something I didn't already know when we think about the divine eros, but actually it came down into a further level into my body. The judgments that I then have of that, believing that these are just human, or I hear it all the time, 3D needs. Okay, so maybe, just maybe, the frequency that we are labeling something at is our own understanding of it. An example, money can be a very 3D concept for some people. However, money can change the world. We've seen that negatively. We can also see that positively. How we choose to digest, how we choose to consume this energy, and the vibration we choose to then let it be born, delivered, experienced through us is up to us. Yeah, so it's that real open heart space here of the Leo, the lion, that is the last part of the year coming forward. But before then, before we even feel into how am I going to love things into making it a higher vibration, myself included, it is about releasing all the things that have stopped that. Making that informed decision. What am I going to take forward? How, based not only on our physical needs, the recognition our physical needs are actually our soul needs as well, but also what are our soul needs? I love the tarot. I've always loved the tarot and it makes me emotional for as long as I can remember, because I see it everywhere. I see it in my everyday life, and I see it as the 22 paths of Kabbalah. I see it as my soul's journey. I see it as the cube of life. I see it everywhere. I feel it. But for me at the moment, there's a lackluster there. For me at the moment, with a lot of the things, there's something missing. And it's not in the tarot, and it's not in what I offer, and it's not in what I do, it's in myself. So that going within that I've been avoiding, I know holds some depth there. That for whatever reason I've made it too much, or I can't cope, or oh no, it's a whatever. Whatever. What I'm letting go of is those beliefs. So to do that, I must go within. So this week, which I'll be doing from August onwards for at least a month, and however long is intended, and that's the other side of that is the trust, right? The trust. Oh my God. So for a month, I've shared daily posts every day for goodness knows how long. Since lockdown, I've been doing weekly videos, you know, twice weekly blogs. Yeah, this is like, what next? Well, I'm not going to know unless I stop. I'm not going to know unless I avoiding. Okay. So yes, it can be really not daunting. Well, it depends on how we choose to experience it. It can be daunting, it can be exciting. And it's whatever energy we choose to allow to direct us now. It can be enduring in the building of a character that has been hidden, a resilience that hasn't been there, or a strength, or it can be building building the resilience of all the suffering that helps us to achieve that. Is how we choose to look at it. And that can cause a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. And if it does, then maybe it's that needs to be let go of, or maybe it's the letting go of listening to someone else that you don't even know, like myself, telling you what's best for your life. Who knows? Only you will know. But it's about trust this week, this month actually, and it's not just trust in the universe. It's especially not trust in people outside of us. I can't strengthen that enough, myself included. It is the trust in yourself, in the steps that you have walked, and the recognition that the avoidance is coming from avoiding who you are. And it's that we need the courage, the strength, the patience to connect to. We are in the strength year, and it's always been about voicing and connecting to our own divinity, our own feminine way of creating with that, our own ability to receive that. So on that note, we're 10 minutes in. I am going to look into the energies this week and how to best navigate them by using the tarot cards and receiving whatever needs to come through. And you may notice over the next few weeks that things ramp up. I've noticed it with healings, I've noticed it with readings, and that can be a real temptation. So like for me, everything's ramping up. Now would be the best time to not go within and keep go. But actually that desire to go within and integrate these changes myself so that I can be more response able with them when I'm offering them to others is greater. My ego wants to run forward and offer these things under the guise of being of service, and absolutely, but to be of service without understanding the tools myself, how responsible is that? And that's really going to come to light this week. If we are going to share and ask others to walk through certain paths and support them, can we do the same for ourselves? How strong are we in who we are and what we offer this week is going to really come to light. Okay, now I can see why I'm using the runic tarot. They're a very Viking inspired energy, and it's not harsh, it's direct, it's clear, it's halfway through the year, guys. that's what it is. It's that time of summer, that fullness, that abundance, but also the recognition, yeah, not lay on our laurels. Obviously, you know, I don't want to get caught up in a business plan, methodical way of living, you know, constantly producing, but to recognize that this too shall pass. All cycles have a beginning and an ending. And are we putting things in place for the harvest? Are we becoming prepared for the end of the year as well? Being present here, but knowing in being present, we are going to be made aware of things that we may need to start focusing on as a result. And that could be what we're avoiding, right? Yeah. Underneath the bottom of the pack, we do have the Ace of Cups here. Avoiding the tending to our own heart and our own spiritual connection. Surrounding ourselves with energy that agree with us, or surrounding ourselves with energy that reiterate how great we are or how much we know. Yeah, that's beautiful. Is it allowing the soul to discover more about itself? And it can be, you know, love and support can be enough for you to understand who you are. But an example, I went to a few workshops the last few months, and at the end of them I really felt like, yeah, I knew that. That was really great, beautiful confirmation. I can also recognize I'm not allowing in any new receiving of any new teachings as well. Now that's my journey and it may not be the same for you, but the only way to find out is it sustaining you? Is it making you feel the depth that you are now ready for? Is it helping you to sense into the wholeness and the completion of this part of your journey in this present moment? Or is it helping you to keep going over things? Yeah, is it coming from, one of the things I saw yesterday in the workshop, is it coming from your soul or your pain body? And, you know, the question that I asked yesterday was, can some of our soul stories also be from our pain body? And 100%. So we can find reason and logic, including spiritual reasoning for what is occurring, to the point where endurance becomes torture. Endurance, resilience, strength becomes, yeah, I'm going to say it, abuse to the self and to the soul. And only we can decide that. Only we can decide that. Well, actually, having said that, it's the 7-7 portal, so the universe can decide as well. You know, I know that by taking time back in August, I can stock up and I can really feel into this energy that's coming in and what is being asked of me. And that if I don't, the universe will find a way. Now, that's not a narrative I want to take forward anymore, because that's born from me not listening to my intuition. So really feeling into what you are avoiding, why you're avoiding it, and more importantly, what narratives you will be taking forward, perhaps subconsciously or with secondary gain, past the 7/7 portal. And it's not that they will be removed from you, and it's not that they will be left behind regardless. We are going to be made really conscious of our choice to decide what it is we take forward for the 7/7 portal. A lot of the other portals kind of you walk through and everything just shifts and you don't know what happened. No, it's about time we stood up and became the balance, yeah, the decider of our own fates also. Okay, so how? Well, we go back to the heart. We always go back to the heart. How does the heart feel? What does the heart need? The spiritual heart as well. I'm recognizing that that's actually really linked to the heart of the earth also. So without any pressure or judgment there, acknowledging that when we hold ourselves back, we also kind of hold back other things as well. And that's not to say we have to rush or do. Again, remember, what you're avoiding could be time with yourself. It could be self-care that you're avoiding. It could be putting things in place that now no longer serve you. It could be starting a healthy eating regime. It could be connecting to the earth. It could be connecting to your heart. What resides in there? What desires are in there for you to be discovered purely by sitting with them. Okay, so energies this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday there is a wobble overall. Okay. So Sunday there is a wobble. Sunday I struggled to get the card out of the pack. Sunday we do have the Hierophant, and it feels important to start with the Sunday. The sun day, right? Remembering that it's all about bringing light into our day. It's all about enjoying our experiences of life. But it is the Hierophant, so it's about recognizing our connection to the divine, recognizing our connection to spirit itself, to source, to our own source as well, and the lessons that we have had or believe that we have had and the energy behind them. There's no point getting caught up in a punishing soul or a punishing God or whatever, that really feeling into the connection there. And there is a bit of a wobble as we start to see that some of the things that may have occurred may not have been out of our hands. Okay, we may have had a part to play in that, and that can give us a little bit of a wobble, because who doesn't want to be told what to do sometimes, especially in times of uncertainty? However, in order to really gain insight from our medicine, from our lessons, from the path that we have walked, it is about applying it. And that comes down to, yes, we have the Wheel of Fortune overall all week, which I will keep coming back to, and it's important to keep coming back to the changes that have occurred so that we can see where we are. But what it all comes back to is on the Monday, our ability to trust our heart, our ability to trust our soul, because we have the Knight of Cups. So we have that Ace of Cups at the bottom of the pack. We know it's all about connecting to the heart. We know it's all about connecting to divinity. But the Knight of Cups is, okay, what are you going to do with that? It's one thing to feel. What are you actually going to do about that? What are you offering, or what is being offered to you from this space? And do you trust it? It's not the King of Cups, it's the Knight of Cups. So it's a little bit younger in its energy, and it's very much about doing. Okay, so really feeling into that. Even though he stood still, he stood in his energy, and recognizing the importance of doing and the understanding of doing. So doing doesn't always mean an action. It can mean embodying who you are. That is an action in itself. So coming into your heart space, you may go there and find that there's nothing you actually want, and it's more of a frequency. So be in that frequency so that you can recognize what it is you offer to others, or not, as the case may be on the Monday. On the Tuesday, yes, that can be a bit of a kick up the arse and like, oh gosh, shit, so there's work to be done, is there? Oh my God. But actually it's how we choose to see it. We have the Five of Pentacles. Now in this card, this man is no longer involved in the war. The war is over. Yes, there's people out there getting what they need from it, picking at the scraps of it, you know, medals or badges of honor or whatever can be done from that. But this man is actually sat with a peace pipe. His wounds have been tended to, and he's done. He's done with fighting the heart. He's done with fighting the desires. He's done with fighting his actions here. He knows there needs to be a change, and that change is to say, actually, look around me. This is done. There's nothing here for me to discover. Now, that can be in our own spiritual growth. That can be in our own reflections. For me, it's definitely reflections. Oh, Lordy, yeah, I can get wonderfully caught up in self-reflection because it's such a glorious place to be, where my ego shows me exactly how much I'm discovering in life. And then what? And then what? Okay, so really recognizing this is only a halfway point. It's one thing to reflect what is then done as a result, and it can be standing in that energy. In this energy here, you can see this man is done, and he isn't trying to fight his way out of it. He's accepting. Right now, I haven't got a clue. Right now, it's been hard. Right now, it's been a battle. I'm not going to go back over why it's been a battle, but I just need to sit with that and let my body, because the pentacles of the earth, right? My body, my physical vessel, integrate all this that has happened now. And as you can see, he is smoking a pipe there, or chewing a stick or something. Yeah, he has something in his mouth there. And, you know, I think back to, I think it was Freud that said about the oral stage, and it's all part of the development, right? And we have that comfort. There's that comfort that's needed there. I smoked a couple of years ago, and for a while I would chew on a pen, or I always find like me biting my fingers or whatever, that comfort of the addiction there. Finding something to replace that, sitting with it, being aware of why we repeat things when the world doesn't always around us, why we find ourselves scavenging through what has already happened, tending to the wound of that and sitting with it and having peace with that on the Tuesday is really going to be quite pivotal. On the Wednesday, we have the beauty of what it means to observe and to witness. We have Temperance, and this is the only card where, I just double check, she has no cups. There's no water here. There's no emotions here. There's no past or future to sift from. There's just growth. Growth in the beauty of observation. You can't even see. There we are. Growth in the beauty of observation. And it's very tempting. It's very tempting. Yeah, very alluring. She's almost looking over her shoulder. Shall I look back over the past? Well, I can give it a quick glance, but actually I'm headed somewhere else. And it does look like there's grey skies there, you know, and it can be really tempting to stay where there's been beautiful growth and just hope that that will keep coming back and we don't need to do anything. But there is a beckoning there. There's a calling there of, you've witnessed this, you've observed this, you've seen this. Aren't we blessed to see some of the beauty in things and to learn from things and have that opportunity? But then what? Unless we take what we've discovered into the darkness, back into the storms that face us, we will never truly see their beauty. We will never truly see resilience for what it is. We will never truly see endurance for what it is, unless we can apply it and take it forward in what it is we're discovering in the path that we're walking. So being very, very aware of that. Yeah, we can have the beauty and the joy. Anything that's in a beautiful place can be beautiful. What about the beauty in the shadow, in the darkness, in the storms? Can we find that as well? And that's what we're being tempted to look at on the Wednesday. On the Thursday, we have the 8 of Wands. I have to really try and figure out what that is. No, it's not. It's the 8 of Cups. So on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, things may move quite quickly. And that's Independence Day, isn't it? It's the day of the election. Okay. I'm not one for reading on global things. I'm a big advocate of get your own shit together so that we can deal with what's going on around the world. However, that has come to light. So being aware of some of the energy that may be in the background on the Thursday, because we do have Independence Day and we do have the election. And recognizing what it is. So at first I thought it was the 8 of Swords when I looked at it, which is mental entrapment. Feeling imprisoned by the mind. And then I looked further and thought it was the 8 of Wands, which is swift, rapid movement for the soul and for the spirit. However, underneath it all, it's neither of them. Yes, the potential is there, and we have the radio room there and the Wonjo room there as well. The potential is there for fast movement upon our road. However, it's the 8 of Cups. Only if we let go. Only if we choose to emotionally move on. Independence comes from the freedom of being a slave to our own emotions, our own mind, sometimes our own spiritual drive as well, or at least our creativity. I get a lot of people that believe they're a slave to their own creativity and that they have no choice here. We have an opportunity to move forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that final cup, 3, yeah, that final cup is actually in the hands of the squirrel running up the tree. That final cup, you can't quite see it, is actually in the hands of the road forward. You can't quite see it, and maybe that's the case. We may not be able to see it clearly on the Thursday where things are going or whatever, but the actual final cup, that Ace of Cups, that cup that's being offered by the Knight of Cups, is in the ability to move forward, to climb up the tree, to move away from this darker energy that has kept us almost entrapped. Okay, so on the Friday we have the Tower card. Just a quick swig. We have the Tower card, and my advice on the Friday is to drink of our own experiences, to drink of our own self-care, to drink of the love that we are. As you see, I just drank from that. To drink of our own cup on the Friday, because we do have the Tower card. So it's almost like that darker energy that was waiting at the bottom that we were trying to move away from is going to make itself seen more on the Friday. It's going to come, yeah, more into our vision, more of our vision. Recognizing the changes that take place on the Friday are needed if we are to truly step into that vision now. Allowing the force within us to awaken. It's got to be a Star Wars thing, isn't it? The force within us to awaken on the Friday is going to be key. And recognizing that for the change that it needs to be. I feel quite sleepy on the Friday. I feel almost as if I could switch off to everything that is going on. Sensing into that, sensing into where that is coming from. All I look at when I look at this card is the flames, the transformation, the heat, the warmth, the knowing that it was going to happen. There's a real sensation of that there on the Friday. Come the Friday, what are we? Fourth, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Come the Friday, it is really important to recognize where we are. It is really important to recognize what has occurred before us, because we are building up to the wobbly day, which is the 7th, which is the portal, which is the only day this week that was quite wobbly. And yeah, the whole week is about Sunday, and it is about the portal, and it is about the light that we're going to take forward through that. And there are going to be changes, but those changes can actually be coming from the light that we want to take forward. So really recognizing not what's not for us or any of those cliche statements, they really don't matter or help right now, but recognizing, almost like a snake sheds its skin, we are going to feel lighter after this. We are going to release the things that have been holding us back before the portal, or we are going to be given the opportunity, be it through ourselves, and if not, then by the universe herself, because on the Saturday, on the 6th of July, we have judgment. It's that is calling us out. We're being made very aware of things that have been embedded. It's almost like entities embedded within our storylines, our timelines, that have held us back based on judgments that are no longer relevant. Judgments that may have helped us to survive, but judgments now that are no longer relevant. So another example with my self-reflection. Yeah, it's amazing. Self-awareness is amazing, but it's come from the fact that only I know myself and I can't rely on anyone else. And that's come from a very painful place as well. So much as I've discovered a lot about myself, the key here, the gift here, is I've also discovered that I'm ready to move on from that discovery, or at least that way of discovering things. We can really discover things through pain, through judgment, through repetitive trauma or narratives. And actually Saturday, really looking into the reason behind that and why that may have happened. There's a great completion and a great closure of all the things that have happened with us, not to us, with us throughout our lifetimes, coming to the forefront for us to be seen, but also recognizing what judgments are going to stop us from moving forward now. Let them call us out. You know, have some fun with it. Okay, so yeah, I could get really caught up in being able to self-reflect and, oh, I'm a fucking guru. No, I'm also holding myself back from receiving any new information from anybody else. So Be aware of that and take yourself a little lighter. Release the judgment of getting it all right. Release the judgment of knowing everything or being where you need to be. Or, you know, you may find that you're avoiding things and there's nothing you can do about it, nothing you want to do about it right now. That's okay too. Awareness is so powerful. So powerful, because you're going to become aware of whatever story you are attuning yourself to. And that could be judgment on yourself for not being ready or for avoiding or whatever. Go deeper, go deeper. Really, really have some fun with finding out what the hell is going on pre-portal, because on the portal we do have that Hierophant energy. On the portal, it is all about our connection to source, our own source, and the lessons that we want to take forward and the way we choose to see those lessons. Do they need to be lessons? Can they not be light? Can they not be fun? I'm very aware that that is a understanding of my own lessons and school and teaching and authority, and yeah, not a great narrative for me, and yet ironically I do a lot of teaching. I'm very aware what my soul has done. I'm very aware that my soul has said, you know, from a heart space, I want you to understand the concept of learning deeper. Yeah, so really on the Sunday, what is it all about? What's the concept all about? It's one thing to say, I do this and I've become this. But what is it all about underneath? Take that forward, reconnect to that lighter wisdom of the heart. Yeah, what was it all about? And mine is discovering life. And that's what my soul wants to do. That's what my heart wants to do. So go underneath and let that take you forward, because that's the energy I will take forward from Sunday. Well, from now, right? And it is an ongoing process that we discover throughout the week. There's great potential of change there, which is the card that we have overall. It is the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the 3 fates there, recognizing you are one of them as well. Instead of being down here, believing that things happen to us, that we have no choice, what are we weaving in the narratives that we choose to take forward? What are we weaving in the beliefs that we have, that we are assigning ourselves to the things that we are avoiding? What are we ultimately weaving? The wheel goes up, the wheel goes down, right? We can avoid things, but they're still going to happen, just in a different way. Okay, so really recognizing the direction that you want to take forward now. I don't want to have to be poorly before I can integrate these incredible changes that have happened without my awareness for the most part. Yeah, so I'm going to take some time out in August, take a sabbatical, allow this vibration to come through, not from being a slave to source or creativity, but because I want to. Because I know there's a great depth and healing of my own and who I am there to be found. And I'm curious. Get a bit curious about yourself this week. Why is that happening? What am I trying to say to myself? What have I gained here? What do I understand here? What changes have occurred? How can I apply that to my life? What does my soul yearn for through my own physical heart? Do I trust that? So is there anything else? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Lots of major arcanas this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Yeah, does it make you go 4? 5 major arcanas this week. And do you know, there's some real giggly energy with that. There's some real lightening up with that. And my God, it's needed. All of a sudden, I feel like I've got the biggest bags under my eyes. Like, so tired. It's needed. This light is needed, and it may not feel light based on what we believed we wanted, or based on who we believed we were, or based on where we think our next stage is going. It may not feel light, and it may feel like a bit of a tug of war here, but if we can really step back and feel into the major energies, the universal energies here, we have Temperance and the Tower and Judgment and the Wheel of Fortune and the Hierophant, actually the Hierophant and then the Wheel of Fortune. 5 of them. The turning point is going to come from external forces, but it being 5, how we react to them as a result. Can we witness the beauty and the changes that have occurred, but not get stuck in them? Want to take them forward, want to move into some more curious expansion here. And in doing so, can we embrace the changes that are needed to help us upon that without the judgments, or at least allowing the judgments to help us rise and see ourselves from a different perspective and the situation at hand? can we be with our lessons and our medicine and absorb that teaching? Will we push them on to others? Cliche as it sounds, can we be the change that we are looking for? In looking at the more individual, personal ways we live our life. It's one thing to talk about peace if we don't allow ourselves peace. It's not very aligned, is it? It's not very embodied. It's one thing to talk about more depth and a greater connection to the universe, but if we're not allowing time for that, which is what I will be doing in my sabbatical, are we aligned to that? How embodied are we? Really feeling into that, because the minor arcanas here, we have 2 cup cards, and it's the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Cups. What do we feel in our heart? How do we offer that? Are we trustworthy in what we offer through our own embodiment of that energy and that flow? 2 pentacle cards, so the emotions are balancing with the pentacles this week. No fire cards, but then we have the Tower and Judgments, so there's a lot of fire there already. And no sword cards, but we do have the Wheel of Fortune, the Hierophant and Temperance. Even though they're not sword energy as such, they are great energy of change and just witnessing our mind, observing what is going on and allowing those shifts to happen. So we are dealing with our emotions and the physical actions as a result of them. The 2 pentacle cards. Sorry, no. We have 3 cup cards. Now I saw the 8 of Cups as an 8 of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay, so the mastery this week, it is coming from our mindset. It is coming from our connection to source. It is coming from our ability to move forward by seeing things for what they actually are, and keep returning if we're not sure. Keep returning to what we are seeing on an emotional level, because we actually have 3 cup cards. So that birth is coming, that celebration is coming from our emotional level. But feeling into the heart, what are we offering? Is it of the same energy that we are? And if not, moving away from anything that isn't, by coming back and looking at what we're truly seeing and where we're truly acting from, because that is the 1 pentacle card. That one new physical beginning is going to come from the 5 of Pentacles. How do we see our journey? Are we still scraping through the remains, picking at the bones, using them as badges of honor, or are we ready to heal those wounds now, to bandage them up, to stop picking at them and say, I need to be with this, I need to recover, I need to have some solace here for all the changes and the shifts that have happened. And these are big changes, these are big shifts that we haven't given ourselves time to acknowledge. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere, and they're going to seep into, almost infect, if you will, other areas of our life, so that that can be shifted and changed. And everything that's coming to light this week is going to show us that bit that we haven't moved forward from with the pain body. So let's put them to one side, and we will have 1 card overall. Yep. So at first I was really tempted to push away the 4 of Cups that's in front of me, because, well, it's obvious the universe gave it to me. It was really quite convenient. And underneath we do have the World card. So it's not just about trusting ourselves this week. I feel that in my chest. It's not just about trusting our heart. Remember, our soul heart, going back to it being the earth's heart as well. It's about trusting what is being given to us for the gift that it is. This is coming up. Okay, I'm facing this again, this change again. What is going on here? There's a gift here that is yet to be discovered. And feeling into that, sensing into that. And it is from the earth. So we have the World card underneath, but it is also from your place here. So it is also from your soul's energy here. It is helping you recognize who the fuck you are. Okay, so taking time with that. You can't avoid who you are. None of us can. You know, it's going to be there. It's going to seep into everything in the most beautiful way if we choose to let it. But it really takes some acknowledging first and some embodying of it in order for those changes to be seen for the gifts that they actually can be. Not in their approach, not in the outcome, but in the person we step into as a result. Take care. Have the most incredible week, and I shall see you post portal. Have a safe journey. Take care.